Revelation 13 causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads, that no man might buy or sell, save he that hath the mark, or the name of the beast, or the number of his name. These people take a sign of allegiance to the leader. And for some reason, they have it in their right hand and on their foreheads. And there's a couple of possibilities about that, but understand the number isn't the person's number, it's his number. They're taking his identity as a sign of allegiance. Here is wisdom. Let him that hath understanding count the number of the beast, for it is the number of a man. And his number is 666. And around that, books have been written that talk about barcodes, inserting things and all that sort of stuff. It turns out the 666 is an inference from the Greek letters. There are 3 Greek letters there in the original text. And these 3 Greek letters have numerical values of 660 and 6. So those 3 letters can be construed geometrically as a number 666. If that is correct, it's the only place in the Bible that the text leans on gematria, the numerical value of the letters. The fact that the letters have numerical value is very interesting from a number of points of view, but it's not used by the Holy Spirit to communicate directly. Walid Shabbat was watching a movie called The Kingdom of Heaven. It's a movie about the Crusader period, but they redid the research, and all the tribes that are fighting there in the movie, it reminded Walid of something he knew as a kid growing up. That in Islam, if you're at war, it's traditional to have a headband with Allah on it and on the right arm. And they did that in the movie. That reminded Walid something he had forgotten. The Shahadatan. It's a declaration of allegiance to Allah and Muhammad that's worn by millions on their forehead or their right arm. And when he saw that in the movie, it reminded him of that, and he remembered the passage in Revelation 13. And the Greek, it's the right arm or the right side that's at issue here, and it's a badge of servitude and so forth. So now he went back and took a closer look at Revelation 13:18. Here's wisdom. Let him that hath understanding count the number of the beast, for it is a number of a man, and his number is 666. And here's wisdom. Well, that's pretty straightforward. We know what wisdom, broad and full of intelligence and all that sort of stuff. That's good. The word count is actually the word reckon or decide by voting. Really? Not counting like numerically, it's attributing. And it is the word number is arithmos in the Greek, and that word in Greek can mean one of 2 things. It can mean an indefinite multitude. A number of people came over. Some number, some group. See, it's used as an indefinite multitude, or it also is used for a precise number, like 13 or 17. See, so it says it is the number of a beast. Now it can be. Now the word number here occurs 3 times, and that word in the Greek can mean an indefinite thing or a very precise thing. Your choice from context. Okay, so man is pretty straightforward. As anthropos, being a human, a man. And his number is 666, but it turns out that's not in the text. There are 3 letters in the text. And here's where it gets pretty interesting. Let's take a look at this. If we look at the papyri and look at it more closely, and you look at this, you'll discover there are 3 letters there that people presume are Greek. If it's Greek, it goes from left to right, and you've got those 3 letters, the late 3rd, 4th century papyri. But it's a presumption that they're in Greek. In the book of Revelation, it says John wrote down what he saw. All through that, he wrote down what he heard or wrote down what he saw. Here he wrote down what he saw. What did he see? He saw those 3 things. Okay? He's doing this, by the way, 6 centuries before Muhammad. Okay, let's keep this in mind. If we take a closer look at those things from Codex Vaticanus, 350 AD, there's some subtleties here that suggest maybe it's not Greek in the first place. John wrote what he saw. Now, if it's Arabic, it flows from the right to the left, not from the left to the right. And this is, of course, many centuries before Muhammad. And it turns out that if you know Arabic, that those first two letters say in the name of Allah. And it's written as a slightly upward angle. The two swords that follow it are the traditional symbol of Islam. That's not an X, it's two swords, is in the view as a conjecture. We're not sure, but it's a possibility. But it has some very, very interesting implications if that is Arabic. Because if you look at Arabic, that word can lay on its side. It can be at angles. It's on an angle on the flag of Iraq itself, by the way. So that's the word Allah. So this is an alternative translation of Revelation 13:18 that Walid suggests is a possibility. He's not selling it. He's just highlighting from his scholastic background in Arabic and Islam to recognize this translation is legitimate. I'm going to show you. Here is wisdom. Let him that hath understanding decide who the multitude of the beast is. For it is the multitude of a man, in other words, Muhammad. And his multitude are in the name of Allah. Wow. It's possible he's right. We don't know. But it is a whole nother complexion, especially for there's lots of other reasons that people are increasingly coming to the realization that Islam is emerging as the primary warfare against the God of the Bible. You've got to beware of all the deceit that's prevalent in the press and in our culture. Allah is not the Arabic name for God. That's a lie they promote. Allah is a specific God. When you translate the Quran into French or German or whatever, that's a word you don't translate. It's the name of the God they worship. And it happens to be the moon god, as exemplified by a lot of reasons in the history and the rest of it. No, it is not a religion of peace. The Quran is a warrior code. There are hundreds of commands to kill Jews and Christians throughout the Quran. It is to force itself on the entire world, by force if necessary. In Islam, it's encouraged to lie, if it's in the interest of Islam. They celebrate an event by Muhammad. He made a treaty with his own tribe, the Quraysh tribe, of peace. But as soon as he was strong enough, he wiped them out. And that's not just a point of history, it's something they celebrate in Islam as a victory. And when Yasser Arafat would make speeches, and the English had never matched the Arabic, if you had people that knew Arabic and saw the speech, the English release was nothing but bore no resemblance. And he would tell his followers, don't worry about my peaceful things. There's a name in Quran for that deceit that Muhammad uses. And Yasser Arafat used to brag that he was doing the same thing Muhammad did, is to lie in the interests of Islam until we're strong enough to swat them, see? And so the point is, most of what you've heard about Islam hides the real truth. So one of the things you're faced with is doing some homework to really understand the sinister nature of Islam and its power. They teach the kids a little, what we call a nursery rhyme. Today, Friday, then Saturday, then Sunday. What they mean, today, Friday is their holy day. Saturday is the Jewish holy day, and Sunday the Christians' holy day. They take them in that order. But their goal is the subjugation of the entire world under Sharia law.